Hello everyone, my name is Pyrit, I am the community manager for Vigor, and today we have quite a lot to talk about. We have pushed out our latest update 0.9. Other than that, we have also hosted our second free weekend to gather as much feedback and data before the full release of the game, which is the next point we are going to cover today, so let's jump right in.
In the update 0.9, we have quite a lot of changes in the gunplay. Every gun has its own purpose. If you compare any two of them, they are different. Some of them are good for the starters, some of them for experienced players, some of them need more skill to play with, but they are more rewarding. There's a ton of differences between the weapons, and we believe that players are going to choose their favorite ones, and they are going to choose different ones based on the purpose.
We changed loot distribution in a way that players now can learn where to look for certain resources. So for example, they can find fertilizers near farms, they can find weapons and ammunition or military camps or places where it makes sense. For example, metal can be found around places with lots of metal, fuel, near parking spots and so on. So players now can approach the level with a plan and try to look for resources they really want.
One of the really important but kind of hidden thing in the 0.9 is the rebalance of whole economy in the game. The things and amounts of the things in the encounters changed. The location where you can find the things changed quite a bit. There was a great work with our level designer. The things that you can find in the loot crates and in the crates in the shelter are way different, and there are more interesting things in there. Also, the resources needed for the shelter improvements changed drastically, was rebalanced. The prices of the weapons changed quite a bit. So I'm looking forward to see how do you like it.
As with any other update, with 0.9 came a lot of feedback, but overall there were many additions that were really positively received by our community, and it's no wonder because many of those additions were actually requested by you guys, including the leaderboards, weapon skins, spectator mode and much more.
For 0.9 we added food into the levels, which is new resource. You can find it mostly on empty places like forests or near rivers, and on structures like animal feeders or fish dryers. You can even find food on head of the snowman. So as a new resource we tried to fill those empty places in our levels with something interesting for players to find there.
New feature you can find in the shelter is a shop. We are using exclusive shop. That means that all items in the shop are there for a limited time and there are only few items. You can find customization, weapon skins, that is new thing, and also gestures there.
We just released our latest update 0.9.8, and now our priority is to make the game free to play for everyone in the main release. That's going to be something for us to tackle. We are going to go through all the Xbox requirements that are necessary to make into the game and check that everything works as it should.
Of course, we are working on new maps. Some of them will be released after the game is free to play. There are many new maps in development. We try to find interesting areas around Norway, so you can look forward to new types of environment or new types of landmarks in the environment.
As I mentioned in the beginning, there was also free weekend happening, so there were a lot of new Outlanders coming in to see what is Vigor all about. But also many old players came to see how Vigor improved since the last free weekend. It is always so nice to see new players coming in, but it's also a source of valuable data. And the bigger amount of players is actually great preparation for the full release of the game.
It's almost 1 year since we released the game preview. During this period, we did our best to listen and develop the game to the state that we will call 1.0. But don't worry, it's just the beginning.
The release itself is not going to be the final destination for Vigor. There's going to be many updates to come, and the game, as it's going to be free to play, is going to be a service. So we are going to provide you with regular updates of the game, and they are going to provide you with more content that you can enjoy. Initially, when we started the game preview, we announced that there's going to be the release in February. Then we postponed that to Q1, and after that we announced that it's going to be late summer. When I'm looking back to that, I realized that it was a good decision. All the things that are in the game are much more polished. When you take a look on interactions, locomotion, shooting, everything's in better state and more enjoyable for the players to play. Even we, as we develop the game, enjoy it much more, and it's something that's much better for everyone.
For Bohemia Interactive, Vigor is a significant step for a couple reasons. Maybe you know us because of Daisy and Arma series, but Vigor is a new brand done by a talented team from Brno. It's also a valuable experience since we develop for the first time on Xbox One and Unreal Engine. Last but not least, we created Vigor as a free-to-play game with unconventional shoot-and-loot game design.
I think that the team is really looking forward to the release because there's a lot of unknowns for us. There's a new IP, new platform that we didn't publish on before, and the team is looking forward to the public reception. They've put their heart into the game, and now they are excited to see what the public, the community, is going to tell them about their game, their child.
And the last news is that we will be attending Gamescom this year. This time not as a company, but only as Vigor. You will be able to find us in the hall 10.1 with our booth slightly resembling a shelter, which is pretty cool by the way. There will be a lot of fresh merch, but also many devs on the set. So if you want to learn more about Vigor development, make sure to stop by. Anyway, this is pretty much all for today. Thank you all so much for watching and see you in another Dev Diary.